Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham Hatt the Third, at your service, of course. Anyway, that's my real fat controller's voice, not using any voice mixing material or equipment. Now, a lot of you may want to know about the NWR, the North Western Railway Company, which actually was formed in the 1900s. Now, I am now briefing you on this because a lot of people don't believe that Sodor did exist at one point. Yes, Vicarstown opened up in 1915 to 1928. Now, four original stations, three current stations, blah blah blah, interchanged with the North Western Railway Company, which opened. So it's not a flawed, anybody. This is all realistic. Because you got Sir Stephen Toppentat, me, of course, it been definitely been at the bottom at Norfolk at the moment, which is the actual bottom half of Sodor, obviously, part of the Great Western, Little Western line, plus Arlesburg West. So a little bit about this railway is that it's all in a muddle, basically. So the railway of the NWR was opened, but it did not give out this official date. All it does is tells you exactly when the stations were opened, and I'll be providing you the link to it all. So Vickerstown Station, was opened in 1915 by the North Western Railway Company, my company, of course, with approval of the local vicar of to construct the railway station. Its aim was to complete that was bankrupt by the Sodor and the Mainland Railway Company service. Failed to do so. That was a connection that Sodor's rail network with the British mainland rail network was to increase trade by 1918, which is true. But what a lot of the events of begin of any NWR operation at the time, while Northwestern Express service to London terminated at Vicarstown. In 1928, Vicarstown Station was rebuilt in a smaller design to improve operations. So there are a lot of improvements. But there was a lot of accidents, yes, in certain areas, but it's all in a muddle, like I said. So I'm going to be providing you a lot more than what your expectations. I am the real Sir Stephen Toppenhat III, born on October the 10th, 1983. And that's correct, obviously. And that is would not go out with doubt. And then, with all that being said and done, now we're going to go down to, let's say, Fuqua as example. It's another station that opened up on my line on the Island platform terminus at the North Western Railway Company. Opened up in 1925 with two platforms. Not one, but two. Now, how impressive is this? You think I was joking all the time, ladies and gentlemen? And obviously that's all. No, I'm not, but I will be providing you the link and the descriptions below. Anyway, with Knapford Station being another major terminus on my railway line, was a Timbeth to Knapford Light Railway Company. Opened with six platforms and opened up in 1885. So a lot of these railway stations that we all talk about are realistic. It doesn't matter how much you deny it. Craven's Gate, in any aspect, is a realised station on the Tenny Lynn line. Obviously, at the King Station at Tenny Lynn Railway opened up in passenger in 1911, which is true, and I will not lie about that, everybody. So be prepared. At all times, I speak to my engines like I would always speak to you, obviously. So, the wharf renamed as a Telly Lynn Wharf. Obviously, that's how they present it in Sudrick. Anyway, so with that being said, the history to Timbeth was also on the list. Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway opened up with 3 platforms and opened up in 1870, originally in 1875. So when you look at the real locations, these will give you facts, but at the same time, it's also giving you the real life basis of these stations as well. This is not just a normal joke. So, regardless that Norfolk is part of Sodor, yes, but it's post-war, not pre-war. The stuff that are coming up on the internet right now is pre-war stuff, not post-war. So, like the London Midland Railways, as an example, see what I mean, where it all confuses you lot. So I'm now helping you and guiding you and supporting you what was going to be put in my book. And it's going to be put in my book with more details, of course. When people look this all up, they will think, no, he's not kidding. The NWR did exist at one point. So, so a lot of people that I've met over the years are connected to this franchise. Friends, family, connections, all of it. It's not just about one person here no more. Of course, it won't be. And I did say to you from the very beginning of this video and stream that my voice is genuine Hatt voice. And it is third gen, so I'm not a first gen, I'm not a second gen, I'm third gen. So, Methway, as another example, is part of the East Coast Mainline service. So, realistically, a lot of these railway companies like the LMS, the ECLML, and the others, they're all part of it. Even the Midland Great Northern and the Great Eastern and the Great Northern Railway Company and the Great Western Company, they all played a part in all of this. So, in every day, you're fighting with your own history that you're denying that's real. And when it says Northwestern Railway Company, you know it's going to be further north and you know it's going to hit in the Scotland area. So who owns the Scotland area? My family does. So if you think you're going to push me aside and say I gone completely cuckoo, I will be sending the links to you to provide you with information. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all of them, but it just gives you a white rundown for episode 1, the stations list, a bit of history here and there, but I will be providing you with 2 links that will make life a lot easier for you to read it for yourself. So don't argue with the hacks, as they say, in my opinion. But a lot of it says, look, Kirk Ronan had 1 to begin with, second 3, fourth the current. So the terminus is getting updated quite regularly. But like I said, Kirk Ronan, where is it? Well, a lot of people say it's Stanton. Some people say it's elsewhere. But depending on what you want, pre-war or post-war, post-war is after war, pre-war is before the war. So my ancestor actually built this railway company, and while you were all dumb enough to think that it's not realistic, my ancestor really done his job quite well. Even my grandfather, my father, and myself already knew about it. Now, all I could say to you guys out there, grow up, will you? You know, it all makes sense in the end. But the facts are there, the truth is there, the accidents did happen, and we reliving the whole thing over again. Just to help you out. The Hats have officially returned on top, which is why I'm doing this podcast, because I thought it'd be an eye opener for all of you. Thank you very much indeed. And I will be adding the links below. Thank you very much.